Salutations, true believers. I am Aridan the Gaming Ronin, and this is the first episode of my vlog. I'm gonna upload episodes like that periodically. I have no idea how much time will take between one and the other because I have no idea what kind of cool or interesting thing is gonna happen to me that I'm gonna be vlogging about. But the first thing I'm gonna be talking about is comic books. And that is because of two things that happened. One thing happened a long time ago. Second thing happened, well, just recently, actually. And without further ado, let's get right on it. So, the first thing is, as you can see, I am wearing comic book related attire, which is a Nerdblock t-shirt featuring the cast of the Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, Gamora, Drax, and Groot. And the second thing is the Suicide Squad movie official cap, also part of the August August comic block. I'm gonna give you a little bit of insight in the cap right now because it's a very cool cap. So the first thing you can actually see is the logo of the movie, the Suicide Squad, but the Suicide Squad is present over here. You can also see it. Whole cast: Deadshot, Katana, Killer Croc, Harley Quinn, and all the others because they're important. And on the back it says, in Squad We Trust. I'm gonna keep wearing this hat for the remainder of this video because why the hell not? Just give me a second to just readjust on my head and hide my hair a little bit. And yeah, those are two of five things that I actually wore in August's comic block. I mainly ordered that one because there was supposed to be a Harley Quinn item, and I was really hoping for a t-shirt because I was already went on it when I reviewed a nerd blog that were supposed to have a Harley Quinn item. Also hoping for a t-shirt or a cool figure. Unfortunately, it was just actually a small pop vinyl keychain. Still like it, but not as cool and not as presentable as anything bigger of the sort. So, yeah. Three other things that were present in said comic block were comic books, of course. Well, what else would you expect? All of them were DC Universe from their new Rebirth series. The first was the first issue with a special variant cover done especially for the comic block of Suicide Squad. You can see the five, well, actually core, or maybe not core, but more important people that are significant in the Suicide Squad. There's Deadshot, there's Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Killer Croc, and Katana. Well, from what I can actually tell and from what I've read and found out, I don't think Katana isn't actually a full-time member of the Suicide Squad. The main roster is actually going to be those three characters: Harley, Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang. They appear all over the place and mostly, so yeah, that's the thing. I also want to mention that I really don't like this version of Killer Croc. It looks a little bit weird to me, like monstrous or something like that. So, hard to say. Yeah, so that's the first thing that was there. And two other things are also from the DC Universe Rebirth series. And as I said before, they are Harley Quinn's items. So yeah, Harley Quinn comic book issue 1 and issue 2. Those are special. There was supposed to be about two versions of the covers, and I got the variant cover done by Mr. Bill. Hold on, just forgot the surname for a second. There, it eludes me. Sienkiewicz. Oh yeah, there we go. He's Polish. I don't know why recently I'm starting to mix him up with Sikorski, but his surname is Sienkiewicz. He's an American comic book artist. He works on a variety of projects. From the top of my head, if I can remember, X-Men. It was definitely, well, now he did the cover for Harley Quinn, but he also worked with Batman. He worked with a lot of comic books, so you can actually Google him up, Bill Sienkiewicz, and see what he did, when he worked, and well, he has a very cool art style, if you can ask me. So yeah, those are the three, actually five things that were present in the comic block. I'm really actually happy that I got it. Those things are joining my comic book collection, which is steadily growing, and it grew even more recently because today is the day of a certain special event that's happening in my city, and the event goes by the well, this is going to be a translation to English, because and the name of the event is the International Festival of Comic Books and Games. And it was the 27th edition of said festival. And if you want to know the Polish name of it, because this is how it's actually going on along this plane, because it's happening in my home city, Łódź, Poland. The name is, and it's gonna be also the number, 27. Festiwal Komiksu i Gier w Łodzi. It's been in Łódź, so yeah. I actually found out about this event by accident 3 years ago. I was passing along the place when it actually takes place every year so far. It's called Atlas Arena. And I noticed that there was something happening. I noticed that there were cosplayers walking in. I noticed that there were some kind of a posters hanging around. So I entered, saw what was all going about. And so it's about a festival considered comic books. And I was very surprised that we have this sort of thing, because usually I'm cloistered in my room playing video games and not caring much for the outside world. I'm a little bit of an insider, not an outsider, so yeah, an outsider from humanity. Paradox, never mind. And yeah, so I found out there were a lot of booths that you can buy, comic books that you can buy, other material, other items like figurines, like posters, like pins, like pennants. It also involves video games like tourneys, so both professional and casual, and the new technologies, art style being printed. So it's a lot of cool stuff being presented there. But first time I actually went, I had no idea about comic books. Last time I actually had contact with comic books was about when I was 10 years old. I own about 5 copies of particular comic books. To my memory, one was the detective comic. It involves some kind of a story arc when Batman was searching for some electric wielding guy in a sewer. So that was the one. I had a Green Lantern issue. Don't remember actually which one, but it involved something was definitely the Star Sapphire was present in said story, but it was also a single issue. I had a single issue of the Amazing Spider-Man. It was an issue of the Lizard, and I think I had a Superboy, which was the coolest Superboy that I ever did see. The guy that is wearing the John Lennon glasses and the leather jacket. I think that's the coolest rendition of Superboy that I ever did see. And I definitely had one more, but I don't remember what it was. It definitely wasn't Superman, because I'm not a huge Superman fan. People are gonna hate me for it, but still. I think he's too overpowered. Don't like him. Don't like the guy that presents to be God. And I think the coolest story about Superman is the Injustice one, which I actually found out a lot about thanks to the YouTube channel of Comic Storian. He's a little bit of shoutouts to the guy. Benny from Comic Storian does an amazing job by presenting you all of the arcs in most of the comic books through DC and Marvel universe. And well, not only those, but mainly because those are the mainstream comic books that you can find in America and Canada. So he actually presents you with the whole stories, and you can find out a lot about what's going on recently with your favorite comic book heroes if you are not caught up with the comic books that you can buy. So yeah, that's the thing I found out. And let's go back to the present, because I'm talking about the past. So yeah, I went, well, actually a little bit closer to the, well, still past, but not as far to the past as when I was 10 years old. So yeah, I went there 3 years ago. I bought a couple of issues from the things I thought would be interesting. I bought one issue of X-Men. I bought one issue of Uncanny Avengers. I bought about 2 issues of Deathstroke, because if you didn't catch it up, I think I talked about it when I played the Batman Arkham Origins. Deathstroke is actually my favorite character in DC Universe. I'm not even sure what's going on with the other. He recently also Harley Quinn stepped up also in the main 5 that I love. And surprising as you can say, in the top 5 of my favorite DC Universe characters, definitely it's gonna be Batman, and definitely not gonna be Superman. Those are the main, and everybody says, oh, I love Batman, I love Superman. Well, I do not. I prefer Deathstroke, and I prefer other heroes. My favorite hero of all time is gotta say Marvel Spider-Man. But yeah, I'm ranting on about, and I was going on about the festival that I went. So yeah, that happened 3 years ago. I went, bought a couple of issues, wasn't ready for it, wasn't prepared. The first time I actually went, the admission was free because there was some kind of decision done by the organizers of the store that there's actually once in a time opportunity that you can get it free. Because when I can tell, when I got there a year later, which is last year, the whole situation was once in a lifetime, that usually you have to pay admission price. And the way it was, you can either order at e-ticket or online, or go to this go on spot and buy it, stand in line as usual. First thing, you get a ticket, and then you have to stand to another line and wait until you get to through the main gate, and they offer you a special armband that is playing. I actually cut mine off so far. It's a small little thing, a paper thing. You just put it on your leg, put it on your, I mean leg, not leg, arm. You just, they glue it to you. It has a very strong glue that, I mean, you have to cut afterwards, otherwise it's gonna rip it, because yeah. And it proves that you have admission. The green color proves that you have admission for 1 day, because the festival takes place on 2 days, usually a weekend, somewhere at the end of not November, September and the beginning of October. This year it actually happened the 1st and 2nd October. So yeah, the green one proves that you can only enter on the first day. When you get a pink one, you get access to the second day and first and second day. Actually, the both days, technically. So that's the thing. I only bought the 1 day entrance. So yeah, it costs 15 złotych, which is, if I do believe correctly, about $4. Maybe 3.5 pounds, £3, something close to that. If you just want to have my estimate of euros, something also close to that, 3.5 euro, doesn't matter. You can actually check it out on some kind of exchange website or etc. But that's that. So yeah, that was happened a year ago. So I went there with much more intent what I wanted to get, what I was interested in. I done a little bit of I waited a year for that. I knew I definitely want to have a Deathstroke item. I definitely want to have maybe some kind of a cool figurine bot, and but that isn't important. And this year I went even more focused on what I was interested in. I checked out the event even more thoroughly, checking out who's gonna appear on the scene from the stars from the comic books. It's not gonna be anybody famous from the American comic books, like the creators from the Marvel, and well, technically they are, but not as huge as, I mean, certainly as Stan Lee or Frank Miller, the guys who created Batman, etc. Those people only appear in the American comic books. What can say is what can tell. Maybe somehow, somewhere they were here during the whole history of the festival, but I didn't actually did that much of a thorough background check on the situation. I don't know what happened the previous 3 years. So yeah, and why not? Let's just talk about when I went this year for the first day and what I was interested in, because there are actually a couple of booths that I'm interested in, usually on getting items in, and let me just get straight into that. Because there's one booth that I'm extremely interested in, is a booth for the publisher of JP Fantastica. It's actually an abbreviation. It's, the full name is Japanica Polonica Fantastica. They deal with mangas that are being placed on our market in Polish, and ever since 3 years ago they started publishing Berserk in our country. I am buying it periodically, basically every year I go there and buy a Berserk manga. So right now I'm caught up to issue 5. These are the 2 ones that I bought. Oh, this one is actually upside down, just noticed. So yeah, issue 5 and issue 4, the Polish edition of Berserk manga. Sooner or later I'm definitely gonna catch up. I think so far we actually reached the 9th, maybe 11th issue, or volume, or whatever you like to call it, of the manga. And yeah, I'm slowly getting there. I always also like the whole thing about this event, because when I usually have to pay about 25.2 złotych for said manga, this time I paid only 22 per each. It's a little bit cheaper when it comes to the convent. Let's call it convent, why not just work around for the synonyms. So yeah, this joins my collection of manga. Don't have that much. Usually only have Berserk at this point. So yeah, 5 issues of Berserk. It's mine. I'm reading this. I'm enjoying it. Miura is a very good artist, and well, that's that when it comes to Berserk. Another booth that I'm interested in is a booth for a certain retailer that is called Multiversum. They deal with they deal with bringing in American comic books into the Polish market. They are in English, and well, I usually buy from them because when I want to have a Marvel or a DC comic book, I go to their stall and just get myself equipped with all the things that I'm interested in. But unfortunately, this year they weren't present at the event, mainly because the organizer just skyrocketed their price for the place that they had to pay. It's actually, from what I could tell on their Facebook page, actually tripled. So they decided, screw that, we are not paying that much money, and we are not going. So I cheated a little bit and ordered 2 comic books from them online. And the said comic books are actually in volumes. First one was Captain Marvel, done by, hold on, let me just say, Kelly Sue DeConnick. I already read it. I got interested in actually the character of Captain Marvel at this point, thanks to the Disney Marvel animated series, The Avengers, the season 3. I do believe the subtitle for that is Rise of Ultron or something like that. I think she appeared in 3 episodes ago. For one issue, for one episode, she had a cool chemistry going on with Captain America. Like, she was calling Captain Army, and well, actually, I'm gonna be confused. Calling one Captain, second Captain. Captain Marvel was calling Captain America Army, and Captain America was calling Captain Marvel Air Force, because they are both sides of the same coin. One is an infantry soldier. The second one is in the Air Force. So yeah, this is actually going into the whole story when Captain Marvel became Captain Marvel. That she's not the original Captain Marvel. The original Captain Marvel is Marvel, the one from the Kree Empire that she actually got her powers from. And now that he's dead in the Marvel continuity, she just took on the mantle of Captain Marvel and doesn't go as long with a new suit, and doesn't go as Miss Marvel. So yeah, that's that about Captain. Really enjoyed the story. It's a very deep one. It goes into the backstory of Carol Danvers, or who she is and why she is as she is. She's a very no nonsense give character, and I really do like her. Uh, but unfortunately, when it comes to the new Civil War 2, I think I wouldn't go with her side, because, well, I'm gonna go into that a little bit later. But yeah, and the second volume that I got from the Multiversum comic book retailer is Deathstroke, Volume 2, The God Killer. I already actually, last year I bought Deathstroke Volume 1, was the God of Wars, Gods of War. Yeah, God of War, so goddamn it. Gods of War. It actually provides a new, well, a reboot to Slade Wilson, because thanks to some kind of, I don't even know what happened, the magic ritual backfired and Slade got back younger after one operation. That was in the first volume. The second volume deals with the fact that he has to kill a god, and he, as you can see, there also Superman and Wonder Woman is present. I already read this one also. Another huge fan of the fact that Slade's getting his ass handed to him by Wonder Woman. From what I can tell, actually, I read a little bit about Slade Wilson, and one-on-one, he should have an equal footing with Wonder Woman, especially if he's using a magical sword. So yeah. But also, if you want to have an action-packed comic book with a very cool mercenary assassin, I do recommend that. As I said before, Deathstroke is my favorite character from DC Universe, and sooner or later I'm gonna buy the third volume, which is Suicide Run, and still waiting for the release of the fourth volume. Don't actually remember what's the title of that one, but yeah, I'm gonna have all of them. And yeah, that's that what I bought from Multiversum. Another book that I really much like, they are also dealing with American imported comic books, but don't have as much of cool offers as Multiversum. The retail that I'm talking about is called Atom Comics, and because well, multiversum wasn't present, so I went to Atom Comics, and I actually was very lucky that I went there, because when I got there, a certain celebrity was signing on the comic book that she recently created, but I'm gonna get into it later. First thing, I'm gonna show you what I bought when it comes to the well, said retailer, Atom Comics. I updated my collection of Harley Quinn. I bought issue 3, which is actually a conclusion of the whole first story of the DC Rebirth Harley Quinn. The whole story is involving an alien that gets transformed into a cow, then gets slaughtered. People in Brooklyn eat him, and they turn into zombies that crave human flesh. So yeah, it's a zany story. Harley Quinn tries to survive a kind of sort of zombie apocalypse. It's very. I've actually found that very interesting. So yeah, I recommend this one. And well, sorry, just don't want to lose, don't want to break it. That just fell, and that's the last one. And as you can also see, the variant covers are also done by Mr. Sienkiewicz. So yeah, that's a thing. This one is actually a new story for Harley Quinn. Don't actually remember what's the story called. Didn't read it yet. But yeah, it's 180 Million Ways to Die. So that's the first page of that. Also a ad for Constantine. It's actually, and you're just gonna try to correct me, it says Constantine. No, it's not. I recently watched one of the episodes of Comic Story, as I said before. It's probably, I don't know in which comic book, but Constantine says that it's actually pronounced Constantine, not Constantine. But considering everybody says Constantine, it just got rooted in all of the comic book fan base, so I'm not gonna give you shit for that. So yeah, those are Harley Quinn. I also bought a Rebirth of Deathstroke, because of course I'm gonna buy everything Deathstroke related from this moment on. It's a variant cover also, because I do believe the original cover has a full body of Deathstroke on standing on a white background or something like that. I prefer this one. It's the whole mask just covered in blood. It's amazing. So yeah. Also read this one already. It just provides with it features Mr. Wintergreen. If you know about Deathstroke, then you know who I'm talking about. So yeah. And I bought 2 other comic books. I actually bought 5 comic books from said retailer, Atom Comics. And the 2 other books are the 2 issues of Mockingbird, the first and the second issue. I just want to also buy the third and the fourth issue, but they weren't present, mainly because they're being sold out, considering that the artist that creates Mockingbird was present at Atom Comics, and she was giving autographs. So as you can see, I have a signed copy of the first issue of with a variant cover done by, actually I'm gonna have to check it who did the variant cover, because that's why the hell not. I like the art style also from the this art is by Scotty Young. I can tell it's 2016. It's a nice chibi version of Mockingbird, and yeah, it has been signed by Miss, well, if you just go for English, it's Kate Niemczyk. If you go by Polish, it's Kasia Niemczyk, and she just signed copy for me, for Adrian. I didn't say Adriana, and it also when it was signed the MFKIG 2016, which is Międzynarodowy Festival Comics Wigiel. So yeah, that's a very cool thing. I met her. She's a very nice person. She's a very young artist. From what I can say, this is actually her first go with a major issue. She draws most of it. She hasn't drawn the 5th issue of this series. Don't know why. Actually, I wasn't very familiar with the Mockingbird that she was doing that. Just went with the flow when she was there. And so I didn't actually ask her why she didn't draw the 5th edition. Maybe can check it out online, etc. But yeah, she was a very nice person. She's very young. She's a cool artist, because I already seen her drawings. Why not? I'm gonna show you how her art style looks. Just something cool. Maybe I'm just gonna pick it up. A little bit of a full shot establishing Carol Danvers. Why am I saying Carol Danvers? Not Carol Danvers. That's what is the Bobby? What? Just gotta check it out. Barbara Bobby Morse. So, but she has a very good very good art style. So I'll just go with this page for why not. I like her art style. So yeah, she's a skilled girl, and hopefully she's gonna have a very fruitful career when it comes to drawing comic books for a variety of publishers. I wish her all the best. She's a very nice person. We've met. She really did enjoy this t-shirt. Just got to add to it. She said she really likes it. She has a lot of t-shirts of her own of this sort. And she was really sorry that she couldn't pick a couple of her Mass Effect t-shirts that were made for girls specially. She had to get the male ones. So yeah, they're a little bit too big for her. And that's that when it comes for the bot. I also got one issue that was being a gift, because when you spend 50 złotych or in Adam Comics booth, you could pick either issue 0 or issue 1 from the newest Civil War, the Civil War 2, when Carol Danvers is getting against Tony Stark. He just gets as the head of all the freaking Civil Wars. I wonder what's gonna happen in Civil War 3 in about, I don't know, 2 years or something like that. Probably Iron Man versus... What other captains do we have in Marvel that we can pick there? Captain... Actually, the only thing that comes up to my Captain Planet, but I don't think that's Marvel, so yeah, whatever. We'll see. Maybe we're gonna introduce a new captain. Or Iron Man versus Hulk? Why not? And yeah, from what I can tell from the story of the Civil War, we have an issue reminding me of the Minority Report, because with the whole resurgence of the Inhumans in the Marvel 616 universe, Inhuman has been found that can predict the future, and his predictions are extremely accurate. It's like about, I don't remember, 80% or 90% accuracy that usually come to fruition. And Carol is for the idea that we should use this guy to prevent crimes from happening, and Iron Man is saying that, well, hell no, that's unethical and or stupid or etc like that, because you have no idea. And you know, the whole sort of Minority Report just pops up. I don't know if you actually watched the movie or not, but you should. Tom Cruise in, he's actually one of my favorite characters. Screw the fact that he's a Scientologist, doesn't matter. I'm rambling on about various subject at this point. So yeah, that's an important thing. What else do I have here that I want to talk about? No, that actually I think I'm through with that, and there's only one comic book left that is very important to me. I'm not certain actually is available in the American market, but it's apparently very huge in Germany when it's being created. It's done by two people. The writer is Peter Mennigan, and the artist is Ingo Rumling. And said artist was actually present during the whole event, and well, it was actually done on the booth of Scream Comics. They are the developer of Malcolm X on the Polish market, and Ingo Rumling was present, and you can just get a number to have him sign and do a personalized drawing inside the comic book, which I have done. So yeah, I'm gonna show you that later, but he's also a very nice person, from what I can tell. And for they actually managed to dig up on him, he is the one responsible for the characters in Star Wars Rebels. He's the designer for the characters in the animated series and also in the comic books. And he was creating comic books from, I actually don't remember, but a long time now. Malcolm X is his most recent endeavor when it comes to comic books. It's a comic book about this guy. He's Malcolm X. He's a little bit of an adventurer in Victorian London. He deals with supernatural phenomena, never mind. And he has an assistant. She's a half vampire. She's named Charisma. I forgot the surname, just gonna give it to you later. And yeah, I haven't read this story yet, but it promises to be interesting. So far we have 3 books in this series. Okay, sorry about that because apparently my cell phone can only record 30 minutes at a time and I was running on about. So I recently, if I do remember correctly, I went that there are three books in the series so far in Malcolm X. Fourth one is being developed, and I am planning on actually getting all of them because it's really looks like a very cool story to be a part of. The first one involves zombies, as you can tell by the freaking title. It actually is in Polish, but I'm gonna translate to you. It says body snatchers, and yeah. So let me just show you the picture that Mr. Rumling did for me. He actually wanted me to pick who I wanted for him to draw. I actually pick with Michael Max or Charisma. I went with Charisma. I actually reminded myself what's her surname. It's Miskina. And yeah, he did it while I was watching. It took him about 15 minutes. I am really amazed at his art style and at his drawing expertise. It also has a small dedication that's for me, for Adrian. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, it's my own book. So yeah, this is actually a very cool thing. I don't actually remember at this point whether or not I went on that Mr. Romnick is a very nice person. We talked a little bit about his involvement with the Disney Star Wars universe and his comic book creativity. His work with Malcolm X is doing the fourth issue right now, and that's that from all the things that I got from the festival. Now let's go on the fact what else was present there. Now, as usual, it's involved comic books, which I went through extensively with the things that I bought, and the second part is games. Now, this year's event wasn't as big as the last ones because the whole gaming section wasn't as big as it was a year ago. The tournaments weren't also as spectacular as they were last year ago because we actually had sort of, if I do remember correctly, Polish championship of Counter-Strike teams. And sorry, I'm just gonna cough for a second. I just was talking a little bit too long and whoa, yeah, this is tuberculosis. I'm catching tuberculosis probably, or maybe not. There's no blood. So yeah, it wasn't as big. There were a couple of tournaments when it comes to fighting games. There were a couple of booths that were dealing with art, that were dealing with. Sorry about it. I think this is bad because I actually lost my train of thought when I just skipped and I had to restart the recording. So yeah, this is gonna be a little bit worse than I expected. So let's get over this quickly. It wasn't as special as because Multiversum wasn't present. The gaming section wasn't as big as it was last year. So, but still, I had a lot of fun watching all the cosplayers walking around, watching all the art being present there, all the comic books being sold, all that are mainly European turf, like Malcolm X. It's a German comic book, like mainly Polish comic books, like Witcher comic books or. Forgal comic books or Captain Żbik or I don't even know if you heard about those, but yeah, those are the comics that are popular in Poland. Tytus Sodomek and Atomek. What else we have here? From sort of Captain Claus. I'm just doing this in English because I'm usually hoping that a lot of people that actually watch this are English, so yeah, that's a thing. George the Hedgehog, which actually makes more sense in Polish, which because he's called Jerzy. It's probably a mouthful for somebody who's not doesn't learn Polish language or isn't Polish by birth, namely me. And yeah, so those actually. I also want to talk about a little about the other guys that are present there. The huge names that I actually found out that are the most interesting to me was Marvano. He's a very nice comic book artist. From the top of my head, that I remember his comic book. It was called about Eternal War, and there was also a comic book that I think was Eternal Peace. But I like the arts in this one, and he was present. He was also giving his autographs, and actually tomorrow he's gonna be present on Sunday. And another one that I actually found a huge name was Milo Manara. You probably should know he actually does a lot of erotic comic books. He has a very nice art. I also wanted to meet him because he was also giving autographs today, but I won't have a special comic book signed by him. And the one he did with committance with, oh sorry, along with the writer Alejandro Jodorowsky, which is a guy that actually shares a surname with me. I know how it's actually spelled right now because it's spelled with a J at front of it, because it's actually a Spanish edition of this, but his original one starts with a CH. The C is mute, and it's the same way as you write my surname. So yeah, maybe we're related, who knows. Um, what else I wanted to go in there? Well, there were other cosplayers. I already started on that one, but I want to elaborate. I saw a couple of cool cosplayers who actually I saw because they are not present on the photos that I did from the event. I'm even someone actually went on about the fact that they did photos. They are present currently on my Facebook page. The Aridan, well, not the Swordmaster. I'm actually mixing up my names that I started because I started my channel as Akira the Swordmaster, and I'm going off for as Aridan the Gaming Ronin. So yeah, on Aridan the Gaming Ronin Facebook page, you can see the photos. There's about 20 photos that I posted from the event, and mostly cosplayers, some of the art that I saw there, and well, actually you're just gonna go there and you're gonna see it. But from the other cosplayers that I actually noticed there was a cool cosplay of a female version of Big Boss, Venom Snake from the recent MGS5. There was a very cute Princess Leia, about a 9-year-old Princess Leia from Star Wars The New Hope, Episode 4. You know, the one with the buns on her head, that one. Who else was kind of a cool person I could see? I saw a lot of Harley Quinns. I think I saw about 5 Harley Quinns walking around, which is a bit weird. I saw two Jokers only. What else? Who else actually came to my mind that I want to say that he had a very cool outfit that I didn't actually manage to snag a photo of? There weren't that many Batman or Superman. Actually, none of the Superman. For all the freaking 3 years that I went to the Comic Con, I never saw a freaking one Superman. I saw Jokers, once I saw a Deathstroke, I saw a lot of Harley Quinns. There were plenty of huge mallards walking around at this convent. Seriously, where I didn't look, I saw someone with a huge mallet. And yeah, there were a couple of Batman. From no, also never saw a Wolverine. I saw a Spider-Man. I saw a Man Thing. Is I think that's actually the Marvel version of the Swamp Thing. But that guy actually has this kind of weird thing on his face, like I don't know what that is, roots or something like that. But yeah, he was also, I think 2 years ago, I saw him in the community. I saw She-Hulk. I think I also saw Alice from Madness Returns, but it was also about 2 years ago. And well, let's just give it a lot of cool cosplayers, and I'm actually very sad that I wasn't present at the cosplay contest. Because I actually had to leave a little bit early from the convent because I had a certain personal matter to attend to, and I'm not gonna go into that. So yeah, anything else? Comic book booths, video games, I already went on that. The stars that were present on the show went on that. Cosplayers. So yeah, I do believe that's everything when it comes to the festival. It's a very cool thing that's happening in Poland. It's especially cool considering I have to travel that far to get there, because basically it takes me from my home 15 minutes to get on spot via tram. If I'm walking, then it's about, I don't know, 45 minutes. So yeah, that's a thing. Whether or not if I just want to walk or not. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. And yeah. I also want to go about a couple of other subjects on this, a little bit of a vlog that I'm doing. So the next item on my agenda would be what's gonna happen next to this channel of mine. And no, don't worry, I'm not quitting it. I know that if you're actually just following me or looking at, I am not posting my videos very constantly. Sometimes I have breaks that about last a week or a month, and I apologize about that. Recently I tried to upload videos about once every day, and I'm gonna try to keeping up with that trend, but I'm not promising anything because I know what's gonna happen. There are certain things happening in my private life at this point that I cannot control, so I'm just gonna kind of apologize about that, and hopefully you can understand. And the other thing, as you can see from this vlog, I'm gonna try to do some new things on my channel. I was actually thinking about videos of the sort like Aridan watches, as much as Aridan plays, when I actually take on some kind of a cartoon or a movie or something like that. I know how it actually work with the YouTube privacy settings, so yeah, I'm not certain about this. I was also thinking about the videos about of this sort that I'm gonna talk about, maybe not main what is actually happening cool around me, or actually what defines me, what I like about making vlogs about certain cartoons or certain books that I read, or other stuff that's happening. I'm not also certain, as I said in the start of this video, how often I'm gonna put the videos of this sort. You can be certain that the video game videos are gonna be happening quite often, because at this point I'm still playing Alice Madness Returns and Dark Souls 3, and the third one is Tomb Raider, yeah, because this is the 20th anniversary of Tomb Raider. This year is the year of Lara Croft for me. You can disagree, but for me it is the year of Lara Croft. I played two of the most recent editions of the game. Right now I'm dealing with the 2014 Lara Croft reboot, and I already finished the shitty playthrough that actually hacks and glitches and all over the place, but doesn't matter, it's there. I'm talking through it, so if you just do not enjoy it, just please don't watch it, because as I said, my videos sometimes they don't have a very good quality to them, but I'm still doing them because I want to. It brings me joy, and hopefully it brings joy to somebody else, so whatever. And yeah, I also did those short videos on the previous versions of Lara Croft Tomb Raider games. I went in the first reboot of Lara Croft when it came to the Under Legends, or after, whatever, doesn't matter, I forget at this point. So yeah, you can be certain I'm gonna be doing my video game videos, let's plays, and something new, trying thinking about it, and all the things in my sign-ups are working on something new that I can do with this channel. What else I actually wanted to talk about? I talked a little bit about the future, I talked a little bit about the past, I talked about what happened in my town at this point. There was definitely one point at the on my agenda that I also wanted to mention. My videos, the pictures, etc, etc. Funny actually, at this moment I can't remember. So maybe I'm gonna add it to some other video of sorts. And at this moment you found out what actually about that cool event that happened in my town. Oh, actually, speaking of events, maybe that's the thing. Because the end of this week was an event at my city, here in Poland, here in Europe, the Comic Book Festival, and Comic Book and Video Game Festival actually. And next week it's an even bigger event that's happening all the way across the ocean in New York, and of course I'm referring to New York Comic Con. To all the people that are actually watching this that are from America, are actually planning to go to the NYCC, I really hope you have a lot of fun there. Even more than I had here, because it wasn't as thrilling as I was expecting to be, especially since multiverse didn't happen, and all the other thing, the gaming section wasn't as big as I hoped it would be. But still, it was a lot of fun. I had a bit of my own collection updated with comic books, and yeah, hopefully you're gonna get what you want. You're gonna get figurines, you're gonna get signs, you're gonna get collectible items, you're gonna get comic books, because that's the most important thing in that thing. And just have all the just a lot of good clean fun over there, and don't do anything stupid. And with this video is concluded, so Excelsior!